The planning and pacing graphs I'm about to show you is what I refer to constantly throughout the course of long-term therapy. After brain injuries, clients often have difficulties understanding where their new limitations lie. But let me show you the tool first and we'll go into details. Since finding this resource at Parkwood Institute in London, Ontario through the London Health Sciences Centre, I have used it all the time in my therapy with clients, and this is why. After a brain injury, once clients are out of the hospital and trying to return to the community, they often overextend themselves. They don't know how to pace themselves appropriately to work without provoking symptoms. On days when they feel good, they tend to push really hard. They think, oh my gosh, I'm feeling great today. I have to get everything done that's on my to-do list. So they push, push, push without realizing that they have spiked into the danger zone. They can no longer be productive. They have visual symptoms, pain symptoms, headache, dizziness, nausea, fatigue. And often after pushing themselves into the danger zone, clients sometimes need up to 2 or 3 days to recover after, especially after something like vision therapy or EMDR mental health rehabilitation. Those types of things, or weddings or funerals, things that are highly overstimulating, cause clients to spike into the danger zone and they can need several days to recover before they're feeling okay again. But after they recover, they finally start to feel better and they think, oh my gosh, I need to catch up on everything that I have fallen behind on for the last few days. So they work, work, work without realizing they spiked themselves in the danger zone again, resulting in the need to crash and recover for up to days. And the cycle just repeats from there. And when you are stuck in this activity pattern, your safe zone stays this small and your danger zone stays this big, meaning you won't over time develop the capacity to build your tolerance and stamina for tasks because you're not giving your brain the pacing it needs to be able to recover and build your capacity to do more. Instead of spiking into the danger zone, one of the hardest skills I have to reinforce with clients is take strategic breaks. Sure, you might feel super productive, but before you get to the point of developing symptoms, you have to take a quick break. And the length of the break depends on lots of different factors. Your clinical intuition and your own personal intuition, if you're the client, will guide you as you practice this skill. But I also teach you activity points diet, and the activity points diet will help quantify when and how to take meaningful breaks. So, as an example, say you are trying to return to school after a brain injury and you have to study. I would recommend studying for about 15 minutes and take a 2-minute palming break and see how that goes. From there, you can try it again. Can you do another 15 minutes and a 2-minute break? Perhaps 2 minutes isn't long enough. Maybe you need a 5-minute break every 15 minutes. Perhaps you can do a half hour at a time before you need a 5-minute break. It really depends on the person, where they are in the stage of their recovery, and lots of other factors as well. But ultimately, it'll change person by person, and it's up to the clinician and the client to jointly discover where that sweet spot lies. Over time, by staying in the green safe zone, eventually you will see that the safe zone gets bigger, the danger zone decreases, and you can accomplish more before you need to take a break. Let's see what that looks like in the next graph. Also, before we move on, a quick shout out to Penny Welch West, who was my SLP mentor. She is the one who introduced me to the world of brain injury. And after taking the optional brain injury placement under Penny Welch West's mentoring, I knew I wanted to work with people with brain injuries for the rest of my life. So thanks, Penny, for getting me started on this journey. Back to task. As I mentioned, the more we stay in the green safe zone by taking those strategic breaks over time, we can remain productive for longer periods of time while only needing to take a shorter break before returning to periods of productivity. If we compare brain rehabilitation to working out, it is not the same as though we're trying to build muscle in the brain. When you build muscle, you want to do those high weights until the point of exhaustion, right? And then your muscles break down and they rebuild themselves up stronger. That is not how brain rehabilitation works. With brain rehabilitation, it works more like we're toning our brain. So we know that toning is high reps, low weight. And by that, I mean, pace yourself for shorter intervals of time, and you will be able to do more of those shorter intervals of time with strategic breaks than you would if you were trying to build your brain muscle by taking on too much and working to the point of exhaustion. I think that'll do for now for our introduction to planning and pacing graphs. Next, we're going to review activity points diet, which goes hand in hand with these graphs. Once I teach these planning and pacing graphs, I pretty much always immediately teach the activity points diet. So let's get into that next.